while back, I didn't understand the meaning of the expression food deficiency. However, with COVID 19 and with the kind of struggles that the economy is going through, I think most of us are familiar with what is meant by the expression food deficiency. Well, that expression has more meaning to some than others because, I mean, to really understand what it means is to be greatly affected by it. However, I noticed this morning on television that in Brooklyn, New York, people were lined up for miles, to get food and to get boxes of food for Thanksgiving. So food deficiency is really real. Has always been real, but it's more real now than it has been previously. So I'm so happy to be able to bring to you an organization that deals with and helps to the best of their ability, and they're gonna do better with your help. What food deficiency means and how this organization is approaching, dealing with food deficiency because there is really a vacuum in our community now. This is a call to action. I'm your host,
This,
Alex Habersham, and today I have with me representatives from the Middle Georgia Meals on Wheels and the persons of Mr. Otis Redding Jr.
the
You're the
third.
third, ain't you, Otis?
I'm the third.
Yeah, Otis Redding the third, who is the board chair for Meals on Wheels, and Miss Javonna Latimore, who is the acting director, acting executive director. Is that correct, Javonna?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is correct, sir.
Okay. Of the Meals on Wheels, and they do a phenomenal job, and really they've been doing this job for quite some time, but it's kind of been, although it's been significant and impactful, it's kind of been under the radar. But hey, it's no longer under the radar. It's on the radar. So first of all, we're gonna begin with Otis. Tell me a little bit about yourself personally and
Well,
why you kind of got involved in Meals on Wheels.
I got involved with Meals on Wheels, being a citizen of Macon, Georgia. I had some downtime, and I got a phone call from my mother, and Miss Latimore called the Otis Redding Foundation looking for volunteers, and my mother told her that she had a volunteer for her, and that volunteer was her son, Otis. He'll be there Monday, and
That's funny. I hadn't heard that story.
and that's the truth.
That
And I
is.
went and I met Miss Javonna Lattimore, and it was truly an experience. So she put me with the driver, and for about a week, I rode
Mhm.
with the driver and learned the ins and outs of and all of the policies of delivering. You know, we do have policies for delivering. We have guidelines that we have to go by, and I was really making more of a big deal out of it than it really was. And once the week went by, I was I was showing up the workers. I was showing up the drivers. I was getting my route done a little too quick, I think, and I was really enjoying it. And I made a lot of great friendships and developed, good friendships with the people who were looking forward to seeing you, and at first I would just be Otis, and a few of them knew it, and they figured it out, and then we would have these long. It was kind of hard at first because some of them were kind of lonely, and you have another route. You have a route. You have other clients to go to, but you have to try to take some time out to talk to them, And I really got into it, and I loved it, and I volunteered for 2 years nonstop every Monday and Wednesday. And it was like a job. And then I was asked to become a board member, and got on the board, and I was on the fundraising committee, and later fundraising in HR. And I just started to really, really like it. And from there, the board started to revolve and rotate and change. And um, they were kind enough to ask me to become president. And that's where I am now.
That's so outstanding. And one thing that's important, Javonna, that he mentioned, and I think a whole lot of people don't realize it. I want you to talk about, the nuts and bolts and hot meals on wheels. Oh yeah, incidentally, I know your mama, Otis, and I know. so, so, hey, you went from a voluntold to a volunteer,
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly the way it happened.
She's a phenomenal lady, and there's a whole lot of meaning in that message that you just gave, and we'll get back to it in a minute. But
Thank you.
anyway, Giovanna, talk a little bit the mechanics of Meals on Wheels, and also talk about how the drivers just don't abruptly hand. There's more responsibility to the delivering that meal than just passing it, to the recipient and leaving. And I think Otis kind of mentioned that, and that helps, frankly, to bespeak of the role that everybody needs somebody. That's an old gospel. I think that's a song. Everybody needs. I don't know who is
Yeah,
by Otis, but
that's right. It's one. It's several. Several
yeah,
people have done that
everybody
one.
needs somebody. So I think that
That's right.
applies to Meals on Wheels also. So talk about the mechanics, if you would, of how it works and how the food is distributed and how you get the food and what's the responsibility of the driver and etc.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to get our story out. Meals on Wheels, we've been around since 1974, and we provide meals to the elderly, homebound, and seniors in Bibb County and in Jones County. To be eligible for our program, you must be at least 60, have some major health issues, and be homebound. And what we do is we refer our clients over to the Middle Georgia Area Agency on Aging. They triage and our potential clients, and they determine who's eligible for Meals on Wheels. Once the client has been deemed eligible for Meals on Wheels, they come to us. They are our treasures, and we treat them like gold. Um, we provide meals. Before pre-COVID, we were providing meals 5 days a week, but now we just give them meals once a week, enough meals for that week. Um, Not only do we provide meals, but in our mission statement, we provide comfort, hope to all that we serve. Sometimes some of the clients, their parents, their children may be in a different city, maybe in a different country, even a different state. We provide them comfort knowing that somebody is going to check on them daily. Not only do we check on them daily, we have some clients that get our drivers to take out their trash. Some of them go back and cut some hedges, cut a little grass. We want our clients and our seniors to know that they have not been forgotten. Many times, the country focus on the youth, and then they, sometimes don't put as much focus on our elderly, and that's what we do. We let them know you have served your time, you served your country, you served your family, and now it's our time to serve you.
Right.
We provide hot meals. Pre-COVID, we do shelf-stable meals, and we also do frozen meals. And we learned that some of our clients, they love their pets. They were actually feeding their food to their pets because they didn't have enough money to buy their pet food. So we solicit money grants for pet food, and so now we also provide pet food to our clients. And we are so grateful to the community to help us and assist us with that. Uh, the PETS program, it's been around about 5, 6 years, a great program. We solicit grants for that, as well as we solicit grants for our feeding our clients. There's a waiting list. Once people are deemed eligible, if there's not enough money from the state and Medicaid, federal, they go on a waiting list. And then once money comes available from the state, then they are taken off the waiting list. Sometimes, times are hard. Sometimes people are on the waiting list maybe a month, 2 months. Some have been on there a couple of months, 6 months to a year's time. It just depends on funding. And funding has gotten to the point that it's been cut. It's been cut. So we do our annual fundraiser in November. where we ask the community to help us feed our clients. So we just sent that out, and thank you for your assistance with that. We hope to get some great feedback from that, so we able to feed more clients.
Well, that's extremely important. That's a good story. I got one observation I need to make because some people may not understand it, but in many instances, that pet is the only constant contact that that senior
Yes,
has,
sir.
for comfort and companionship. So I applaud you for doing that. So I mean, so now I don't know whether you got it in front of you, Javonna, but do you have, and then Otis, we're talking about fundraising with Javonna, and then we'll talk about, because the two major needs are fundraising and
Yes,
then
sir.
volunteerism. And then, there oftentimes there are people in the community out there who are looking for things to do. Well,
Mhm.
you can do two things as it relates to Meals on Wheels. And then, I mean, if you can only feed, a person for a month, then I think that Giovanna has the amount that you can donate to do that, and you can donate online and things of that nature. But it's extremely important, And then guess what? Let me tell you a story, Otis. In Tyndall Heights. I was in Timber Heights, and I was down on Elizabeth Street, and then we, being bad boys, we were messing with this lady. Old lady. I'm in the project. And I'll never forget it. She turned around and she looked at me and she pointed her finger at me and the other boys. And you know what she said, Otis?
What'd she say?
Just keep living. So
Okay.
today I understand that. And the point that I'm trying to make is that you're going to keep living. Those of you who may be younger or what have you, then we have a responsibility now while we are in the position to help a rule.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
think it's incumbent upon all of us, to support, because minimal amounts can
Mhm.
help. And, it breaks my heart that you got a waiting list, which means that, you got people, who are hungry.
Who are hungry? Yes, sir.
I'll say that again. There are people who are hungry. And, and I just don't think in America, nobody should go hungry. We we waste food and we waste money in this country, and I think that it's just a responsibility and an obligation on the part of all of us to try to help this program and address this food deficiency. So talk a little bit about how people can donate and what the donation what a donation can provide. I think I saw somewhere where you could, where one meal costs what, $6?
$6. Yes. Yes, sir. We're asking $154 will feed a senior for 1 month. 462 will feed a senior for 3 months. And $924 will feed a senior for 6 months. But you do not have to give that much. I mean, we're asking, you can donate whatever you put that's put on your heart. We take $5, $10, $25, $50, whatever you can freely give, we would be most appreciative. I think it should be posted on our website today, but we do have a donations site
But
on the website where you can just hit donate, and whatever you want to donate, we'll be most appreciative. It's also will be on our Facebook page, Twitter, and our Instagram, on all social media.
okay, that's outstanding. And what's that website?
MOW for Meals on Wheels, midga.org.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
MOW,
MOW, midga.org.
MOWMedGA.org. That's because some old folk can't remember all that.
The Meals on Wheels, so it's MOWmidga.org.
Yeah. So Otis, if you would, thank you, Giovanna, for expressing that and explaining that and kind of, pricking the conscientiousness and the hearts of people in our community to support this program. So Otis, talk about volunteerism. So I mean, the mere fact that we got Otis Redding the third driving, which means there's a real need for volunteers. So how can people volunteer? What do you need? And
Well,
let me say this. Let me say this to the
okay.
community. Otis is doing a phenomenal job heading up this organization. I mean, he's contributing his time. He takes it as a job, though he's doing it for free. So I have just recently become familiar, man, with what you're doing for this organization, and I want your mama to hear this. I want mama to tell her. But
Well, thank you. Thank you,
you're
Mr.
doing a
Abbott.
phenomenal job, and I think that bespeaks, and I hope it motivates some other young people in the community and not so young people, to give back because I think that you said that once you kind of got into it, at first you were a voluntold,
Oh,
Right.
but then you became a volunteer. So talk
Yes,
about
exactly.
volunteerism and how that works and what areas are needed, etc.
What we need volunteers to help in a lots of different ways. But what I like to say, what I learned about volunteering in this situation is a lot of times when you're volunteering, you don't really realize how important you are to the cause. You just looking at it as, oh, well, I did that, and you go on about your business and you carry on. But if you're volunteering and you're doing something that you truly like, you're making a difference in society, people are looking at that. And when people are looking at that, I'm saying this to say to people to motivate younger people to want to volunteer, because what happens is when you do it, people are looking at you and they're truly looking at you in a different light and putting a lot of belief in you. And then before you know it, they'll come to you with a different plan. I never ever had any intentions or any thought of the actually when it all rotated around and some of the people resigned and the board members, and the day they asked me to become the chair of the board, I, I was a little shocked. I said I'm not really ready for that. And once they sat me down and explained to me, look, it's not about you being ready, it's that we need you to do this, and if you're not ready, we're going to help you along the way. So don't be afraid to step up to the next level. And it's a great feeling to start as just a volunteer and end up being a leader also. So I encourage all of you to go to our website and fill out the contact form. That's MOWmidga.org. Or you can call 478-745-9140. And Miss Latimore, Miss Smith, or one of the people, our assessors, will talk to you and we'll find a position for you to help us volunteer.
Okay, now what this is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Havisham, interviewing Miss Javonna Latimore and Mr. Otis Redding the third. Miss Latimore is the acting executive director of the Meals on Wheel program of Middle Georgia, and of course, Otis Redding the third is the board chair, the president, or big position, whatever you want to call it. So that's exactly what we're doing. So now, Otis, talk a little bit about what areas, everybody can't drive, everybody can't lift stuff. So what are the areas, and Giovanna, you can kind of chime in if he, they kind of help him, or, if he kind of forgets something or what have you.
Yeah,
Both of you can address it. Go ahead, Otis.
I feel like with Javonna having already been the director of volunteers, she would be able to answer that question a lot better without
Go
me
ahead,
stumbling.
Giovanna.
okay. We have, of course, like you said, everybody can't drive. We also have a senior chat program, and the senior chat program is where the community, our volunteers, call our seniors. They call a senior maybe twice a week to see how they're doing, to see if they need anything. And if they need anything, they rely that information back to us, and we take care of the needs that our seniors need. We also have volunteerism where they can come in and help us file. They can come in and help us pack groceries for our grocery program. They can also come in and help us do dog food. They can also come in and just help us stuff envelopes. We have a wide variety of opportunities that people can come in, and it doesn't take know, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, whatever free time that someone has, we can find something for them to do.
A little bit, Otis, about the driver, since you got experience in that. Talk about, talk about
Well,
what a driver does.
what a driver does, you go out, you have a route, it's already planned out for you, and it's very well thought out. And you get on your route, and you also have some things to remember. You When you're going from place to place, some of the clients may be on Medicaid, so when those clients get their meal, you have to write it down. It's a serious volunteer job. You have to write these things down to make a note: what time you arrived, what time you left from one complex to the other. um, it's not difficult. It's not difficult at all, but it's so needed. We need drivers. We need volunteers. Um, it's a great organization. I tell you, it really is. And to see the joy that it brings when you knock on that door and those elderly people are looking for you, waiting on you, it gives you a sense of, you accomplished something that day.
We all got what you call it, COVID fatigue.
Right.
The need for psychological and mental counseling and help has gone up exponentially. But just think about that senior, who's living by his or herself, and he or she is going through COVID fatigue too. So that makes the interaction, the food, and the physical and psychological interaction even more important. So just kind of reemphasize that, if you would, Ms. Latimore.
Okay. Again, like I said, our mission is offering friendship, comfort, and hope. Along with this pandemic, a lot of our clients are shelter in place. They can't get out. They've been sheltered in place the longest because of their health issues. And when they get their meals from our driver, we don't just say, here's your meal. We talk to them. We ask them how they're doing. We make sure they're doing okay. And, we offer that friendship, that comfort, and that hope, letting them know that things are going to get better, where they will be able to go out and do things that they normally do, where there won't be so much shelter in place. Yes, we do have a lot of our seniors that feel the COVID impact, that, some of them think their life is over because they're not used to being in the house, and especially if they live alone. If someone lives alone, they think it's devastating to them. And once this COVID is over, hopefully they'll be able to go back to their normal. But we try to give them some normalcy, where we not only just deliver the meals, we talk to them, we give them hope, we give them comfort and hope.
Now, how do you handle, the safety precautions in delivering these meals?
Okay, we're not allowed to go in the homes like we were before. So what we do is, when a driver or volunteer gets to a client's door, they knock on the door. And once the client comes to the door, they just hand the box to the client. If the client can't, if the box is too heavy for the client, normally we've told the clients, just sit a chair by the door, and we can place the box in the chair by the door. But we are not going into anyone's homes, and we wear a mask and we wear gloves and we do
Okay.
sanitize.
Okay. That's very important. We're going to talk a little bit more about volunteering and donationisms when we come back. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, and we'll be right back.
People who volunteer at Meals on Wheels of Middle Georgia are a crucial component in helping us accomplish the goal of delivering nutritious meals to homebound senior and disabled citizens. Beyond the delivery of food, the volunteers also provide friendship, comfort, and hope. Become a Meals on Wheels of Middle Georgia volunteer today. Call 478-745-9140.
This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Ms. Javonna Latimore, who's the acting director of the most important Meals on Wheel program of Central Georgia, feeding seniors and also taking care of their pets, and just making a measurable difference in the lives of people who live alone. And we also have the board chair and president, Mr. Otis Redding III, who's the board chair and he too is, just very active and doing a phenomenal job of trying to keep the program moving and working and playing a role, in feeding these seniors and their pets. So I thought it was very interesting that you said that there are a lot of ways to volunteer. So we want to kind of revert back to that and talk about. Now you said that that a volunteer can just reach out, uh, by telephone, you know, two,
Yeah.
to 3 times a week or even more often. So talk about how does one qualify. Talk a little bit more about how one does that.
Yeah, so that's our senior chat where we use volunteers to do contacts with our clients. They call them regularly to see how they're doing. And how you can get involved with that is you can call our office because we do background checks on all our volunteers, just for precautions. And once they do the registration form and the background check comes back, we pair them with some seniors. And we have a little form. There's just generic questions that they ask each client. They bring that back to us, either fax it back to us or email it back to us, and then we make sure we cover the needs that the client has. Some of our volunteers that do the senior chat, they call their people once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. It just whatever time that the volunteer has, they reach out to their clients. And the senior chat is a wonderful program. I mean, our seniors love it because, they have that contact. They know that Mr. Joe is going to call me today to see how I'm doing. And they know Mr. Joe is going to say, well, is there anything you need? Let me know. So that's a burden off of them because they know someone's going to call and check on them, and they also know that if they need anything, that Meals on Wheels will try to cover what they need. Now, the senior chat program is a new program that we just started, and it has taken off. And I mean, the volunteers love it, the seniors love it, and I would beg anybody, if anyone is interested in the senior chat programs, to give us a call here at the office at 745-9140 and ask to speak with Deanna Smith, and she will get everyone contacted and get you started.
I want you all to share this program because believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there looking for something to do, something wholesome and something meaningful and something that's going to make you feel good and something that's going to make a difference in the community. Well, Meals on Wheels of Middle Georgia is it. It's the
Yes.
bomb.com.
Yes, it
So
is.
if when you give, you receive now.
Yes.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's not just giving, you might not get paid, but you do get paid certain intangible things by being a volunteer and giving. I want to congratulate you again, both of you. Y'all keep it up. Wish you Godspeed. And remember, you can help to address food deficiency by volunteering and donating to the Meals on Wheels program. I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.